If you go up to the loft today, you're sure of a big surprise. If you go up to the loft today, you'll never believe your eyes, 'cause Jenny just isn't there. She's come down to the office, it's spare, because today's the day that Jenny does the Monday Club.
Oh my word, yes, and at least I've got a comfortable seat, but it is so warm today, and just like to put out a huge thank you to George Botterini, who's incredibly generously donated $9.99, and that is incredibly generous. Thank you ever so much for that. Apparently he's on a train, will be in the chat, but the cupboard monkey, as you can see, is being really annoying, so let's just put that in the bin.
No, don't put that in the bin, put it back with the lion.
Put
it with the lion.
Oh, for goodness
Keep
sake.
Everything in its place with the...
There you go. Right.
Dawn. Oh my goodness.
Okay, yeah, right. Okay. I'm just looking at your huge mountain of energy drink cans.
I have to keep going somehow. You've been working me to death with all your feature-length programming.
What, like the one that I edited last week?
She had me working to death, guys. I'm gone now because Jenny is in a room where it'll heat up if there's two of us, basically.
Yes, so, it is incredibly warm. So
nobody can see that at the moment.
Yeah, I know. I'm finding a website.
Okay, I will leave you to it. Shout and stamp your feet if you need anything.
Okay.
Did you need something?
How far would you got if I hadn't done that?
Probably to the staircase. Can I have my glass, and I'll bring you some Coke and a glass of your own.
Okay, that's fine. Right, a big hello to everybody. It's great to see you. I hope I find you well. Let me just hold on one moment. Move that out of my way. It's really in my face. Big hello to Patrick Ling, Iron Horse Railways, Hemel Down Model Railway, S. Eel, Southern Train Girl, Ben Tullett, Gordon Hanning, Flymo Chairman 1, James Watts, the Growler Blackwood Engage Layout, DT Head, says, "G'day all from Australia. I hope you like my Aussie layout from a few weeks ago." Certainly did, actually, yes. S. Eel says, "Snowing here in Wales." Well, where are you? Are you on the top of Snowdon or something? James Galton says, "Hello from Canada." Patrick Ling says, "Hi, Jenny." Gordon Hanning says, "I am in Kirkintilloch." I hope that's pronounced correctly. Anaya Oriti, hi to you. Richard Swiderski, Alex Dent, Anfield Road, layout in the loft. David, it's my model railway, says, "Hot, only mildly warm in Essex." Well, we are having an utterly stonker of a heat wave here. It's just the air is so thick with humidity that you could cut it with a knife. It is quite unreal, quite unpleasant actually. So I've got two fans playing on me, and look at this. It only came out of the freezer like 10 minutes ago, and it's already at least a third melted.
Have you shown everyone the office from the office cam?
Let's have a look. Right, so which one? So webcam 2? Okay. So this is where I am, and some kind of infinite regression going on there.
Yeah.
And she's plying me with sweeties and stuff.
Stuff.
So that, I'm afraid that is the limits of which one?
Just the webcam.
Just the webcam. So that, unfortunately, is the limit of our different camera angles. Up in the loft,
we have more.
Is incredibly... What do you mean we have more?
Up in the loft, she's got all the cameras that I bought and left me with one. So, there we are.
You bought?
The company bought.
Thank you. But, yeah, up in the loft, right.
I'm going to be very annoying, but I'm going to do it in the chat. So, Jenny, turn the mic up, everyone says. But the microphone is at like a maximum.
Okay, well, you know you have
Guys,
volume.
turn your volume up. If I go any further, it'll redline.
Yeah, if we go any further, we'll be sponsored by Billy's Replacement
Oh, I see what's
speakers.
wrong.
What's wrong?
You're sat back.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There
Billy's Replacement speakers. Yeah, I can see it. Now stop mithering. Yeah, unfortunately, right, the loft, even it's well insulated, which means that it doesn't get so stonkingly hot with the sun on it, but it does still get warm. And because it's very well insulated, that heat kind of that's generated within stays put. Martin Searsma asks about the
it's so hot that if I can do this, it'll be an experiment.
Ah! Oh, that's really how you had me scream down the microphone. That was really...
Billy's replacement speakers.
Yes.
See you later.
So tonight's... Yeah, okay. Just push off, will you, cupboard monkey? So tonight's beverage of choice is Budweiser Zero. So that is alcohol-free. Hey, kids. Logan Clary says, I see a TARDIS. I see a TARDIS on the little wall. Scaramouche, Scaramouche, do you see the TARDIS? Ah, right. There are a couple of TARDISes in here. Where has she hidden them? Actually, if I go over to the other angle, then yeah, you'll see one up there. So, right, what's in the news today? Well, apart from this colossal heat wave, Logan Clary, hi to you. David, it's my mother always says, I'm surrounded by trees that keep the sun off my house. 27.5 degrees C, currently 50% humidity. Unfortunately, we've got a slate roof here. It is the house is about 100 years old, and what that actually means is that it doesn't deal very well with extreme heat, like all old places do. We've got no air conditioning here, and the tiles just make a lot of heat. I do have the loft fully insulated. There's a lot of silver foil on top of the insulation underneath the tiles to reflect some of that heat away. It does actually do a sterling job. You can actually go up there and be able to breathe. Now, I got up at about, probably about 6:30 this morning, because I had to actually do a... Gamehammer Classic Gaming says, Jenny, on that camera, no one can see you. I know. Stealth camera. Stealth. There you are. Stealth. Right. Let me just move back to that. Flymo Chairman 1 is down to 27 degrees C. I think up in the loft, we're probably at about 30 something degrees, but with high humidity. There's still high humidity down here. It is actually really oppressive because there isn't much wind. Big hello to George Botterini. Thanks again for the super chat donation at the beginning. Very, very generous of you. Worthington Motherwell says 29 degrees C here in Minnesota. I think it's going to be hot most places that people are. And certainly I've had to have a bath twice today because it's just got so hugely hot and sweaty. I've done some gardening as well. Right, anyway, to the news. We already announced that the J27 from Oxford Rail had arrived in the LNER livery. We've now got further news that the British Rail versions have arrived in the UK, and I can find them down to certainly £86.50 from reputable sellers. I'm told that on Facebook marketplaces, somebody has spotted them being sold for even further, down to £75, which you think for an 060 tender locomotive in 00, we have not seen the likes of those value for money prices for a very long time. Personally, even at I think Hattons are doing them in the 90s. Rails is where I saw them for £86.50. I think Kernow Model Centre's about the same, and essentially it is an incredibly good value for money locomotive. Now I'm waiting on mine to arrive, and I will be doing a full review for that. But certainly, I think on value for money, it can almost do no wrong at that price. We've got sound versions coming through. The BR version has landed on our shores in the shops at the same time that the LNER sound version has come through. And, well, it's one which I'm astounded how they can actually offer that so cheap when we're looking at the £200 plus mark from a lot of other manufacturers. Now, talking about that, £203, I think, so £203.95 is the going rate, it seems, for the Hellion Lid, is it Lid or Lin? The 242 Baldwin locomotive. They have arrived. And when you think that's a 242 tank locomotive, and that is above £200, even without a DCC decoder in it. That is quite. It shows just how good value that Oxford Rail J27 is, and I'm really looking forward as well for the J26, which, as I understand it, should be coming fairly quickly afterwards, because the tooling has been designed to accommodate both. Now, of course, I think the other big thing that everybody has noticed, I can see a few people talking about it in the chat. Ben Tullett says Rails of Sheffield have a new upgraded website as well. And I have been testing that. So let's have a look. And I'm going to go to, there we are. See, I had it all along. This is the new Rails of Sheffield website. And the reason I bring this up is because the Rails of Sheffield website had a few little quirks in the past which made it thoroughly irritating. So, for example, you could break the listings just by clicking on the back button. If you went and, say, looked in depth at a product, click the back button, and all of a sudden it really wouldn't work. Now, I've stress tested this, and it does seem to work. So outwardly, not hugely different. I'm just looking down there. But it was long overdue for Rails of Sheffield to actually upgrade their website. Now, one of the other things as well, let me just see if I can find it. Just moving across here. I did see it before, but as to whether it's still in the listings, I'm not sure. No, it doesn't appear to be. If we go to the decoder range, what I'm actually looking for is the Next 18. So, where have you gone? Next 18 decoder. I've just done a review of the Southeastern and Chatham Railway D-class locomotive. That was one of the reasons that I got up at 6:30 this morning. Basically to try and beat the heat, and it very quickly became unbearable upstairs, but I did at least get that filmed. Now, one of the original plans for today as well is that TRS Trains have very, very generously lent me it's an 042 auto tank. It's one of the ones that DJM, remember them, made for Hattons, and it's been fitted with that really realistic smoke unit. Now, the plan was originally that that was actually going to be running today on the Monday Club with the full steam functions going, and it's just not possible, unfortunately. So a big apology to Kyle over at TRS Trains. I've already spoken with him, so he is quite understanding on that. But unfortunately, it's just one of those things that I would get heat stroke within the first 10-15 minutes if I went up there now. Anea Oriti says, Next 18, what a strange name for a DCC decoder. Yeah, it is a bit. It's an 18-pin decoder, and it has this tiny little interface, which was originally designed for something completely different. So this is really off-piste for what the connector was designed for, but it does actually make a very small direct plug decoder, really probably about the same size as a 6-pin decoder, but you've got, well, it's 18-pin, but I think they have to double them up. So in effect, what you've got is a nine usable pins, which equates to, I think it's four functions, so 4 auxiliary functions, your power in and your motor out and your common positive, and that's basically your 9 pins. So that's how it's 4 function. One of the things actually that you'll see on Wednesday in that review, there's something a little bit different. I do 2 DCC fitting guides on that locomotive, and the reason for that is because I've got an exclusive first look at the DCC Concepts Zen Blue Plus Next 18 decoder, which has an integrated solder-free plug-and-play Stay Alive connection, and I actually managed to fit the Stay Alive in there as well. It's actually a really easy fit, to the point where I'd go as far as saying that the Rails SECR D-Class is probably about the easiest DCC fitting of any locomotive that I've come across. CJ asks, how much are the TRS units, as I don't have a Facebook to message them? I think I'm sure that they have a contact email address. I'm sure that if somebody is able to find that and post it, that would be really good. Tim's model railway and different videos. What temperature in the loft today? I think we're up to about 36 degrees, but with it's just like very, very oppressive. I don't know whether that's humidity. There's certainly no dew or condensation. But Richard Swiderski says, I popped up to my layout in the loft today, 10 minutes and sweating like mad. I can well believe it. It's kind of like that up there today. And it's well insulated. And of course, what a lot of people, I guess, forget is that insulation works two ways. So in the winter, it keeps the inside warm. But in the summer, it keeps the heat from outside from getting in. So it kind of smooths out the temperature changes. Big hello to Egg Rider, Clive Cobold, Donegal Dad, Dean Fielding, David Collins, who says, greetings all from Zwiesel, East Germany, building the Lancashire and Yorkshire Rochdale Bacup Butterworth Junction. Interesting. That says not that far away from here, actually, although pretty much nothing remains of it. Really interesting location. Alex Dent says, Jenny, just to let you know, I have to miss the next week's Monday Club just because I got a meeting to attend. So sorry about that, but I will catch up. Absolutely, and don't worry. Don't worry. It's not like going to school where you have to produce a note if you're not able to attend. Ham Shackleton says, can't find TRS on a quick look. Takes me to a US motorbike site. It's TRS Trains. It's run by Kyle Humphreys. I don't know whether Kyle is in the chat, but if he is, if he can able to post a link. Mr. Matthew says, are they all PS2 games behind you? Yes, they are. There are somewhere in the region of 2,000 PlayStation 2 games in this room. We're actually down in Zoe's office, aka the Cupboard Monkey, and all of this room is just devoted to retro computers. If I go to this angle, you can't actually, somewhere up here, you probably just about see the bottom. Maybe, no, not quite. They're all four walls have got PS2 games racked and stacked in here. Right. What else is new? The Henderson's Relish wagon has been dispatched by rails. I know they're not my cup of tea, I have to say. I'll just bring that up. And they did do a vent van. David Collins says, please, miss, may I leave the room? Yes, you may, as you asked so politely. The box van that they did, the vent van, sold really, really well. I've got a colleague at work, he's actually from Sheffield, so he's religiously buying these things. And his tanker arrived on, I think it was Thursday. Now, I'm going to be a bit controversial, but I'm not that fussed by Henderson's Relish. I've tried it, and I just think of it as being a sort of a lightweight version of Worcestershire sauce. Right. Alan Harris says that's a considerable outlay in PS2 games. Yet not least because the most expensive PS2 game in the UK is sat in this room on the shelf. And that is Rule of Rose. Go and look it up and be gobsmacked at just how much that costs. It actually makes model trains seem comparatively cheap. AD Pullen says Kyle does some fantastic work. Absolutely, and I can attest to that. We were lucky enough to be loaned what was it? The Tornado that he'd done, and it blew me away, actually. So much so that I made that the channel trailer for just a while, and really, really great model. So impressed with that steam effect. Certainly it's one which, if I could afford it, I would be looking to get one of my own. I'm being very, very impressed. And I know that there's nothing new about smoke units, but what Kyle's actually done over at TRS Trains is he's actually made a smoke unit that kind of feels like real smoke. I think it's using something similar to like a vape, how one of those cigarette vaping type things might work. Now, I could be wrong on that, but the smoke, it's actually water vapor that it ejects, is far more realistic than anything else that I've seen in 00. So they are really good. And I was really looking forward to being able to run that. I think he said it gets between 20-25 minutes on a full fill. And we were going to just like run it, and then refill it and keep running it some more. Instead, what I'm going to try and do is film a video in time for Friday, but that is dependent on temperatures, mostly because of me not functioning rather than anything else. Egg Rider says, I agree with Jenny's comment about Henderson's relish. I was expecting more of a tangy flavour and was slightly disappointed. The wagon, however, does look nice. Clive Cobold says, Jenny Fox transfers has made up class 156 number set for my real track class 156 DMUs for you. For me, that is absolutely great. Donegal Dad says, YouTube doesn't like you leaving comments on my channel. Your last comment was deleted before I could respond. I've had a spate of that as well. I'll put up a video and it'll say that it's got one comment, but it won't show me it. And it's like, well, hold on. It's my channel. I didn't delete it. So where is it? So I think there's something strange going on on YouTube. Melchester Model Railway says, couldn't the water vapour be bad for the track and scenery? It's not. I mean, the amount of water that's in it is negligible. You'll be breathing out more than it is actually doing. Patrick Furlong, big hello to you. Wardle Road, brilliant. Great to see you in. You've been sucked away to the world of 5-inch, and I am ever so jealous. Yeah, we were just showing off the new Rails of Sheffield website. There's a few issues that they've had for a long time, which do appear to have been fixed. But no, talking about the 5-inch gauge world, you'll be pleased to know that I am still working on my father to dip his toe into the world of 5-inch gauge live steam and actually build one. Those of you who watched not last Monday but the Monday before will have seen my father's live steam traction engine, which he's in the process of considering selling it. And they aren't cheap. Anybody who's got, oh yeah, I'll buy it off him. He's not just giving it away. You're talking about £25,000. But what he's actually more and more interested in is actually the 5-inch gauge locomotives, just for ease of use. And Wardle Rose says, you're always welcome back to the railway, Jenny. We'll have to sort another date for a visit. Absolutely. I really do want to come back. James Gilbert says, is the TRS train smoke unit compatible with different engines? How much does it cost? I'm not sure exactly. You're probably looking at around 100 to 150. As far as I know, there's options for sound fitting as well. Certainly the Tornado was sound fitted too. And it's a really great package. And I am looking forward to playing with this 14XX. It's the DGM one that was done for Hattons. Now, Warbler Production says, if your dad goes into 5-inch live steam, will you do standard gauge prototypes or narrow gauge? We've actually got our eye on the King Scale 5-inch gauge standard class 4 tank. Wamgok says, sitting in the garden this evening, still 26. Yeah, it's still incredibly hot and humid here as well. Right. I've lost my place. Worthington Model Railway says, I don't see all of my pre-orders on the new rail site, so some teething issues, quite possibly. But Mark Wilson says, good evening, Middock, and been really enjoying following your build. Such an amazing quality of workmanship over on the Jenny Monday Club Facebook Facebook group. Spongate Junction says, good evening, Jenny and Zoe. Daypal are to bring out the Class 59 in N-Gauge. They've also announced another run of the 66s in N-Gauge. Melchester Model Railway says, what livery of D-Class did you get, Jenny? I actually got the South Eastern Shetland Railway Austerity Grey, number 726. Now, I did toy with getting the really ornate one in SECR fully lined out green. But actually, and call me a little bit strange, I actually really quite like that Austerity Grey livery. I've got a number of locomotives already in that. I've got the N-Class that I think was the first ever ready-to-run loco done in that livery when Bachmann brought out, I think it was in 1999 or 2000, something like that. They brought out the N-Class, 2 N-Class box set. They had one in Southern Railway livery, and they also had one in South Eastern and Chatham Railway Grey. And I managed to find one of those. Really, really enjoy pre-grouping liveries. I've also got the P-Class from Hatton's in that livery. And I also managed to pick up the C-Class from Bachmann in that livery. So really, really quite liking it. And don't get me wrong, I also do like that really ornate livery. And I may well revisit that. Depending on money, depending on availability, they are selling really, really quickly to the point where some of the liveries are completely sold out. But I do really like the idea of the full livery. Right. Terry Banton says, I find the escalating costs of double O gauge locos are making me more selective in future purchases. And that kind of brings us back neatly to the news I gave you at the start about the J27s from Oxford Rail coming out for, I've seen them from bricks and mortar shops down to £86.50. And for a 6-wheel tender locomotive, fully spec to modern spec, brand new, that is incredible value for money. You know, we're seeing £200 locomotives now almost as routine. The Hellion 242 Baldwin narrow gauge locomotive, only a small little thing, that's coming out at above £200. So, you know, even the J72 a couple of years back from Bachmann is still like the cheapest I can find them is about 104. Terry Banton says, any news about Hatton's Genesis 6-wheel coaches? I've not heard anything as of yet. Soon is all I know. But in terms of soon, we have also heard news that the shock hood A, the coil carrying vacuum brake wagons from Acura scale are 6 weeks away. They are on the high seas. The MDV and MDO wagons are also on the high seas. I suspect they are in the same container. So when one arrives, the other one should too. And that, of course, does mean that the Monday Club wagon will be also arriving with them. And they are really, really close to selling out. So what I would say to you is, you know, don't delay. Now, somebody did ask before about the choice between Cobalt SS from DCC Concepts or the Rails Connect point motors. And I'll be honest, that's chalk and cheese. Cobalt SS is a slow-acting, small point motors. You get a prototypically accurate, slow change of the blades, same as what you would get with a Cobalt digital IP or analog IP or Cobalt Amiga type point motor, whereas the Rails Connect point motors are solenoids. They're more like the Pico PL10 type point motors, which are like a very, very fast clunk. And the ones that Rails do are incredibly good. I particularly recommend going for the digital version, even if you're running on DC, and switch them using the switch inputs. A big, big thank you to Robert Steers. Very, very generously has donated $10 on the Super Chat and says, for the Locomotive collection. Thank you ever so much. That is incredibly generous. And unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be able to get over to the US for the St. Louis train show. at the end of this month. As I think everybody is aware, we're well into a third wave here in the UK now. Thankfully, the death rate is very, very low. We're not seeing that huge death rate that we saw just over a year ago. But I think what it means is that the borders of the US are not opening up anytime soon. And we're still in this for the long haul, unfortunately. Right. Oswestry Road TMD says, "Hi, Jenny and Zoe from Blazing Hot Devon." It is really, really hot. Iron Horse Railway says, "Jenny, are there any super secret plans for DCC Concepts to launch a range of sound decoders priced in the same region of TTS decoders?" Absolutely not. I will. I'm obviously. I can't tell you about any products that are upcoming, but I will rule out sound decoders because the market is very saturated, and the philosophy of DCC Concepts is we don't do what other people. They don't do what other manufacturers do. They aim to bring something that fulfills a niche in the market that is not being fulfilled. And at the moment, sound is well catered for. And DCC Concepts would always go for the top end of the market, I guess. And that is being very well catered for with the likes of the Locksound V5. A big thank you to Benevolence, as very generously donated $3.15 on the super chat. Says Final Fantasy Remake 2 did one character DLC. Why? DLC downloadable content. Unfortunately, that is the scourge of modern computer games, it has to be said. The beverage of choice is Budweiser Zero, so there's no alcohol in that. I'm actually, funnily enough, we talked a little bit earlier on about the Southeastern and Chatham Railway D class, and it has actually now sold out. I can officially confirm that Rails have sold out of the one in the Austerity Grey. In fact, I'm just looking to see which versions they do still have available. Oh my, they do seem to be well sold out. Let's have a look. D class, where are you? I honestly think they may have actually sold out of the D classes. I'm looking through. We've still got some Terriers in stock. Where are the D classes? That's very, very strange. Ham Shackleton says it's buffering now. Probably because I am browsing a website looking for a model to be able to give you some information. No, the Wainwright D class it's also sold out. Excuse me, in BR Sunshine livery. Southern Sunshine livery is still available. The Monsell Olive Green version is sold out. Oh my word, it has sold incredibly well. So it's like I say in the review, you know, it's if you snooze, you lose. So I'm just looking down, see if I can see any of the other versions.
Starting to buffer. How hot is the computer?
I don't know.
Oh my goodness, it's warm in here.
Yeah, it's probably because.
Oh my goodness.
What's happening?
I've just burnt my hand on the computer.
Have you?
That is hot.
Oh god, yeah. You haven't got a very good heat flow. How do we rearrange the fan to give it a little bit of... take that. So let's just... and this is the kind of issues that we have. Is that what you do, just like that?
No. The input's there.
Oh, actually, I can feel it coming up the back.
Yeah.
So it's
the input's there. So why don't you put that there and put the cardboard on it? Because you've wrapped it. You've wrapped it round the chair.
Have I? Oh yeah. What? Oh.
It's under the chair.
Well, that
Jen, you can't do it.
That's you. That is. See that? That's you. That is. Right.
That's your best bet. That's the only thing I can do.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it is getting very hot in here. The Oldsmead Project says Jenny is multitasking on a potato. Really sorry about this. The heat is actually getting even to the computers that we're using because it is so hot. Yeah, I'm just.
Yeah, it's like everyone said. The extra heat is not helping.
Yeah.
Jen.
So what we're going to have to do is.
You've been going for 25 minutes.
Yeah, and we may just have to bail on the stream. I know that, in all honesty, we're not going to be able to show any videos anyway. J. Paul Anderson, hi to you, says camera buffering.
Everything's because the computer is getting overheated. I'm sorry, guys. We may have to call this. I don't want to come in and find that my computer's broken because then I can't do anything to.
Iron Horse, yeah, Frozen Picture. Giant Hand, you need to get a full aircon in the house. Oh my word, but that would be incredibly expensive for the 4 days of the year that we need it. I wonder if this actually helping. Just have a fondle at the top and see.
No, of course it's not.
Is that any better?
No. It won't be better for a long time. It's not getting the air in.
Okay, well look, I'm really sorry here, people. We're running into hardware issues because of the heat, so I'm going to have to bail out. I'm really sorry about this. The
only thing you could do instead is we could start another stream because we can't jump into this one where you live stream from your phone.
I can't do it. And to be honest, look at me. I'm starting to glisten. Look, I'm really sorry here. It's becoming unbearably hot. We are in a small room. It's not as hot as the loft would be.
The biggest issue with this room is that it's soundproofed. It's a studio as well. So
yeah. But Valley's 56XX says my iMac actually permanently cooked itself a few summers ago in the heat.
Yeah.
Look, I'm really sorry about this. So look, guys, I'm going to have to say thank you very much for joining us. I know it's not the Monday Club that everybody really likes to see, but we're going to have to go because we can't risk damaging the computer, and I'm getting really hot as well. So look, thank you all for coming in. We've gone through some of the news. We've also got the AEC railcars new in from Hellion. I was going to talk about them as well. The 242 Baldwin from Hellion. The Oxford Rail J27. That is a sleeper hit. If you haven't already got one of those, grab one of those because the price is amazing. Seriously, £86.50. For a tender locomotive in this day and age. You cannot be robbed for that. So, just get in there. But until next time, thank you everyone for joining us. We're going to have to bail. The heat is just unbearable here. So take great care of yourself. We're coming back. We've got the full review of the South Eastern and Chatham Railway D-Class on Wednesday. And hopefully we'll get a full video on that TRS Trains 14XX. But it's all down to the heat.
Tell you what, guys, what we might do as a bonus sometime, if the heat wave is still this bad next week, we'll do it live via mobile phone from the pool.
Oh yeah, we've got a pool. We just need to put it up and fill it with water.
Yes, we haven't. Yeah, we sound great, and we've got a pool. We've got a paddling pool. We'll sit.
We have an adult paddling pool, i.e., it has water that's 3 feet deep and it's about 10 feet across.
Take care, guys. Have a great night. Sorry.
Okay, look, you take care, everybody. In fact, we did have a bottle of ice, and this is a demonstration of just how hot it is in here.
That was solid ice.
That was solid ice from the freezer when we started, and it is melted pretty much. There's a bit of ice left in there, but not much. But look, you take care of yourselves. I'm really sorry, and we'll catch you next time. Bye for now.
Bye.